Greetings, YouTubers of the world. I am Arcanum Fantasy, and today I give you my review of a rather rare one-shot fanfic that goes by the name of The First Flame. Now, how does this fic start? Well, Celestia is hosting a get-together between herself and the leaders of all the other species in the world. These being, within the universe of this fanfic, the Minotaurs, the Griffins, the Changelings, the Diamond Dogs, and the Axe. Well, to be more accurate, it's just all of them except for the Changelings. Queen Chrysalis shows up to crash the party. Or at the very least, that's what it looks like at first. Turns out, Queen Chrysalis had actually formed a sort of alliance with each of the other tribal leaders, and had planned to overthrow Equestria, divide it among all the other kingdoms, and essentially reduce ponies to slaves for all the other kingdoms, especially Chrysalis. It's even implied that Chrysalis plans to systematically shut down each leader in order to gain their territory and their people. A good-sized bulk of the story features Celestia trying to find a way to convince the other leaders to join back with her, even going so far as to ask the Queen of the Minotaur to reconsider working with Chrysalis because of their past history together. Well, this of course fails, and when Celestia tries to negotiate something with Chrysalis, naturally the Queen of the Changelings refuses all offers on the table aside from what's on the treaty. So, this is where things get interesting. Celestia puts the treaty back inside its box, tells Chrysalis no, and then in a massively spectacular fashion, the entire building that only Celestia and her, I guess you can call them guests, are inhabiting, explodes. When the second act of the fanfic kicks in, it features each of the different tribes' replacements of their leaders, in addition to a very knowledgeable changeling. I suppose you can call him a king at this point, since changelings don't seem to follow the same hierarchy standards as ponies, who, after a long night of bonding with her new allies, be it politically or socially, depending on how you look at it, the Changeling King provides a interesting theory that Celestia is way more than she actually appears. Way more than just your average alicorn or just some powerful ruler. That she might be something much more ancient, much more powerful. And to find out what I'm talking about here, I'll leave it up to your own imaginations, unless you decide to read the fic yourself, which I highly recommend, with full honor. In fact, I'm not even going to bother going through what I would consider to be issues with the fic, aside from the fact that it's too short. I feel that it's too short. This fic could just as easily be the starting chapter to a very interesting alternate universe story, but as it is, it's still an amazing story. So, as far as spelling, grammar, pacing, and tensing, I'd say it's all 10s across the board. The only thing keeping me from giving this thing a Platinum 11 is the fact that it's still a one-shot. I still think there could have been a lot more done to make the story, well, bigger. But that's more of a personal preference, unfortunately. And Platinum 11s are generally what I reserve for fanfics that I consider to be absolutely spectacular. Be it their length, in comparison to the full-on story, or depending on whether or not I think the fic is just absolutely god-fantastic. This is very, very close. So as a result, I have to give this a 10.5. And again, I highly recommend you take a look at this thing. The writer just has a lot of talent. And like always, there's a link to this fanfic in the description below, so like I said, be sure to check this thing out. It is well worth a read. And with all that said, you all know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, and if you're feeling particularly generous, stop by my Patreon account and leave a small donation. After all, every little bit helps. See you all in the next review, every pony. Bye-bye.